Australian made and owned, Hi-Tech Oils is one of the largest oil blenders in Australia with a truly national profile, supplying an extensive range of oils, coolant, grease, batteries and much more for all businesses and consumer needs. Choose Hi-Tech Oils for peace of mind.
Welcome to round 4 of the British Touring Car Championship from Croft, North Yorkshire. Last time out, we were at Thruxton. In the opening race, Andrew Jordan blasted his new BMW 3 Series off the line and passed Halfords Racing's Dan Camish, while Sam Tordoff's Honda Civic comfortably held on to the lead. Reigning champion Colin Turkington looked to get by Camish, but he was eventually squeezed out at the first chicane. Ash Sutton in the Subaru tapped Matt Neal's Honda sideways at the final chicane, but the former champion avoided the signage at the side of the track and continued in the race. A moment for Tordoff when the rear of his Civic wiggled slightly on the run out of the high-speed church corner. The loss of momentum allowed Jordan to close and pass. Jordan eased away in the closing laps to claim his second win of the season. Bouncing back from his big accident at Donington Park last time out, Tordoff had to fend off the attentions of Camish and Turkington until the finish, but he held on to take his first podium of the season. Race 2, and Andrew Jordan made a steady getaway from pole position while Dan Camish bogged down off the line, allowing Colin Turkington to move into third. His momentum continued and he drew alongside Tordoff before asserting himself in second on the entrance to green corner. Camish found himself stuck behind Tordoff, and they would make contact on the entry to the final chicane, causing both to abort the corner. Jason Plato and Matt Neal would also get the better of the fading Tordoff late on, as the multiple champions enjoyed a rare tussle on track. An excellent opening lap from Plato meant he climbed past Rory Butcher and had carried on from there. At the flag, it was win number 2 for Jordan, with Turkington second. Thruxton saved the best till last, with Josh Cook squeezing his Honda Civic alongside Ash Sutton on the opening lap, and eventually edged past through the first chicane. Rob Collard tried to pass 5th starting Rory Butcher at the same point, but spun and was collected by an unsighted Adam Morgan, which brought out the first safety car. Sam Tordoff suffered issues and retired on lap 6. Collard collided with Rob Smith, who span into the path of Cole Boardley. Sutton lined up a move on Butcher to retake second, but ran wide on the exit of Church. Across the line, it was a win for Josh Cook, his second of the season and the 4th of his British touring car career. This is how the championship looks going into the next round at Croft, and it's Colin Turkington who now takes over the number 1 position.
Andrew Jordan for WSR is at the front. The lights are red. We Go Racing, good start by Jordan, good start as you'd expect by Turkington to try to get up alongside Chilton. Spidey moves across to defend from the forward. Turkington is on the outside line as they dive down towards Clairvaux, but Jordan has the advantage and Andrew Jordan leads. Smiley second, Chilton third, Turkington, Oliphant and Sutton round out the top 6. Josh Cook in the background, a little bit wide, but they've all survived thus far as they head in towards Hawthorn for the first time. Now the chicane, Jordan leads, but he's got Smiley right on his tail.
Yeah, Smiley, look how twitchy the cars are. This is always a sign of cold tyres, not up to temperature. Turkington's actually weaving to get more heat in. They come down to the damper part of the track at Tower first.
Smiley having a look to the outside. You saw one or two of them going off at the chicane as they all funnel through there. Sam Osborne's black and green MG up on the inside line, trying to make a move against Jack Goff, who's behind Carl Boardley. Michael Crease next in the queue, but Jordan leading Smiley. Third is Chilton, and it's all a bit of a step into the unknown, this discovering where the grip is or isn't. Ollie Jackson on the limit going through the Jim Clark S's down towards Barcroft for the first time. Jordan leading, trying to get away.
Yeah, just need to get a couple of laps in to get some temperature in the tyres. For the front-wheel drive cars, it's always at the rear that the car is loose.
Tom Oliphant chasing after Colin Turkington as they come now up towards the complex. Jordan getting away perhaps a little now towards the end of this opening lap. Oliphant in the lighter BMW is on a mission, crawling all over the back of Turkington, who's got himself onto the back of Chilton. Look into the hairpin. Lap 1 of 15 about to be completed. Andrew Jordan leads the way. 9 kilos of weight in that car, so relatively it's very light compared to some of the opposition around him. He has a weave to try and get some more temperature in the rubber as well.
Yeah, it looks like a formation lap, doesn't it? Watching them come down the pit track. Someone's off in the background. Some contact there. Rob Smith coming back on. I'm not sure if anyone else was involved.
Sam Osborne's dropped back a bit, hasn't he, compared to where he was mid-lap as they dive down through Clairvaux. But there is Jordan, who led at the end of lap 1 by 1.2 seconds. Now he's getting into his stride. Now that gap is building. Smiley runs second. It's still Chilton third. Turkington is fourth. Fifth, Oliphant. And sixth is Dan Camish.
Yeah, one of the things about the resurfaced track is there's grip absolutely everywhere. You don't have to be taking a racing wet line round the outside. There's grip everywhere.
Matt Neal here, coming under attack. Jake Hill looking for a way past him. Jake's dropped back a bit, hasn't he, from 9th on the grid, but he makes a move up on the inside now towards the Jim Clark S's. Does he go through? He's got the inside line. He's got the job sealed. Good effort, that.
Yeah, it takes a little bit longer to get heat into the hard tyres, but Jake is doing a fantastic job, as he's done all season.
Through Sunny in and Sunny out, that loops you round up towards the complex. Speed building at this point. Jake Hill now sets off in pursuit of Senna Proctor, but Andrew Jordan, having done an absolute best in the middle sector, is building that gap now over Chris Smiley in second place. What progress of Rory Butcher, 25th at the end of the opening lap. Michael Crease in replay getting the chicane wrong, and Sam Osborne also going way wide onto the rallycross circuit and around. So Jordan, fastest man on track, leading by 2.5 seconds. Hamilton makes a move against Blundell. He's up the inside, and through he goes.
Yeah, good move by Nick Hamilton, and up the inside, didn't lock up or run wide. Mark Blundell's had his eyes on Le Mans, as understandably, as a former winner of that race. So every time I see him, his eyes are glued to the race.
Now, for Smiley and Chilton, the gap 4/10 on the start of this lap. There is Dan Camish wanting the 6th place back from Ollie Jackson, who is still racing nicely back there. Jackson wide in the background, hits one of the Recticel barriers, and having said he's been going nicely, he's lost a place, he's lost bodywork, and one tiny little slip now is going to have serious consequences.
Yeah, is there any other damage looking at that car? Oh, it is, looks quite badly damaged, doesn't it? There's bodywork rubbing on the arches. He's still fighting it out.
Still going.
Yes.
Still got decent pace, but he's lost a spot, that's for sure. Camish gets up ahead of him, and all the scrutineers going to be happy with that bodywork peeling back like that. You can see the smoke, which is potentially the bodywork against the rubber, but with that bodywork sticking out, is that a danger? Not anymore, it's not. He's trying to break it off as he hits the floppy markers. Gordon Shedden's trick, that. He didn't quite work. Ash Sutton gets up the inside and will go through it into the chicane. Jackson off the road and back on again, but that forward, he's getting very dog-eared. There's the bodywork flying off, but it's getting ever smokier.
Yeah, he's going to get a black and orange warning flag for mechanical defect at the moment, but it's only when the car goes heavily loaded round right-handers. Actually, in fact, it looks like it's missed the worst of it now. Here we go. Look to the background. He gets wide, hits the Recticel barrier, which nearly takes out the marshals as well. Wow, a lot of damage caused. We removed the Recticel barrier from the exit of the chicane yesterday, but that one seems to have appeared on the exit of Sunny, does it? Someone else on the dirt.
That's Cook, and he's sideways on dirty tyres, and he's lost a place to Jackson. He's lost another one to Jason Plato now. So Josh Cook has a moment down at Sunny. So 2 laps in a row, drivers getting sideways, having moments down there. The black and orange flag has now been withdrawn from Ollie Jackson because the offending bit of bodywork has long since gone. But the very muddy focus keeps Jason Plato and then Josh Cook at bay. Cook having dropped down the order, and that's Rob Collard, who is off the road.
And that looks in a bit dangerous place as well.
It does, doesn't it? Stephen Jelly comes up to attack Sam Tordoff. Aidan Moffat is ahead, look, in the Laser Tools Racing Mercedes as they come over the line. Tordoff's car may have been off because that also is looking very muddy indeed. Croft does play host to rallycross and single venue rallies, but these touring cars looking very rally-like at the moment as they go through Hawthorne. Adam Morgan is on the back of Sam Tordoff. Rory Butcher is up into 20th from 29th, remember. Still outside the points, but still pushing hard.
Yeah, it is. It's resembling a British Rally Championship meeting, isn't it? It really is. It's looking very muddy, but the race is carrying on. We're just on half distance now, and Jordan's lead is just over 2 seconds again. Fastest man actually on the last lap was Dan Camish in the 23s, the low 23 or 23.1. But it looks like the safety car is going to be scrambled. Safety car is out, so they'll race until they get to the marshal's post with the safety car board. It's down there at Sunny. There's Collard's car.
And we've also lost Nick Hamilton somewhere as well, so they might need to clear him out of the way. But safety car is deployed as Oliphant gets up the inside of Turkington and leans on his teammate. Colin Turkington in danger of going a place down here. Up the inside, tries to get Dan Camish. They're about to get scooped up by the safety car. Turkington gets his place back. And there's Rob Collard's car.
Same place. Fortunately, he hasn't collected Rob Collard's car.
And Andrew Jordan sprints away up towards the hairpin and then looks to get the drive out of the corner. Chris Smiley will try to go with him. Can he stay close enough to attack? Doesn't look like it as they come over the line. We're racing again here at Croft. Green flags fly, Jordan's away, and as he breaks the beam, let's see what the advantage is. Half a second he's got over Smiley. Then it's Chilton, Turkington, Oliphant, Camish to round out the top 6. Down towards Clairvaux corner. Into turn 1 they go. Another man on a mission is Adam Morgan, up into 17th place. It's going nicely. Senna Proctor runs out wide and back on again between Moffat and Jelly.
Yeah, now they'll fight to decide who goes through the chicane in front. Looks like Jelly's got in front of Proctor. Good move there. And good that they managed to settle inside behind each other instead of trying to go through side by side.
Driving standards flag now being shown to Matt Neal as the cars dive down towards Tower. Sam Tordoff on the inside of Senna Proctor. So let's see what happens next. The Senna Proctor is sideways, and off the road is Sam Tordoff, and off the road behind him is Michael Crease having a big slide. Tordoff is back onto the road. Michael Crease is in the right direction. Jelly, Moffat, Proctor, Morgan, Goff in that queue of cars. And the order is shuffling all the time. Stephen Jelly up into 13th place as up to the line sprints Camish and Sutton now to start the last lap of the race. So through goes Andrew Jordan, 1.7 seconds to the good as he heads for win number 4 then. The relationship this year between him, WSR, and this new BMW 3 Series is a fantastic one. Michael Crease is off the road at the complex. He's gone backwards into the barriers. There he is. Michael Crease off the road. For him, the penultimate lap. The leaders are on the last lap. This is the replay, Tim.
Yeah, got in too fast, too wide on the slippery grass. That's only going to end up one place. There'll be a yellow flag there, which means this on the last lap. Whether it'll go green again before the hairpin, which will be the final corner and the final overtaking place, we'll have to wait and see what the marshals decide. But it does mean that there'll be a yellow flag at least there.
So Andrew Jordan leads the way on this last lap. Winner at Brands, double winner at Thruxton. Victory number 4 beckons. It was here he had his first touring car victory. And another excellent drive this by Andrew Jordan. 6 kilos of weight on board. And the Pertec BMW will make its way up towards the complex. The yellow flags are waved on the approach, but there's no yellow, of course, at the hairpin. They've gone through the incident zone, and this, the last corner, means it's going to be a win for Andrew Jordan in style. Second is Smiley, who's going to be third. That's still up for grabs. But race 1 at Croft, round 10 of the championship, is going to be won by Andrew Jordan. The BMW comes across the line. Chris Smiley takes second. Third is Chilton. Round 10 of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship is won by Andrew Jordan, 1.8 seconds ahead of Chris Smiley. Tom Chilton on the podium for third, ahead of Colin Turkington, and Tom Oliphant fifth.
Join us again in a moment for race 2.
the green flag is waved to say we're good to go. The drivers now look towards the lights. Round 11 of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship is go. Jordan's away nicely, so is Turkington. Chris Smiley, as he did in race 1, cuts across and defends on the way down towards Clairvaux. The slightly lighter Honda in second place. Oliphant goes to the very outside line, and as they dive into Clairvaux, Oliphant round the outside of Chilton. There's contact, he's sideways. They're both across the inside of the road. Chilton comes off worse out of all of that. He will be delayed as they wriggle through Hawthorne. It's Jordan ahead. Second is Smiley. Third is Turkington. Then a gap as up into fourth place. Is that Dan Camish?
Oliphant's lost it now.
Oliphant goes around, and are they all going to miss him? Yes, just about. Rob Smith off the road on the other side, but Oliphant ends up now flat last.
Yeah, he was side by side coming after his little incident. He was still side by side coming through the chicane and ended up with nowhere to go but the grass.
Jake Hill's off the road and he's back on again. Senna Proctor losing out to Stephen Jelly. Adam Morgan around the outside of him. Rory Butcher gets ahead of us. And down for the Jim Clark Estes they go for the first time. However, at the head of affairs, Andrew Jordan leads the way. Smiley is under attack. The two Northern Irish drivers, Smiley and Turkington as one. Josh Cook losing out as Matt Neal gets up the inside of him and Tom Ingram tries to find a way through.
Yeah, Matt Neal making another pass at Sonny in, but interestingly, Smiley did a brilliant job at the start. He was surrounded by BMWs, but there was no great advantage for the BMWs off the line. So Smiley got a great start in the front-wheel drive Honda and has maintained that second place.
On board with Butcher, going to the outside of Jelly. Adam Morgan ahead, looking to get past the other Mercedes, the Laser Tools racing car of Aidan Moffat. Carl Boardley's the wrong side of the curb on the inside of the hairpin, but he gets away with it. Boardley versus Simpson. It's like an old National Hot Rod battle. That as the two of them come across the timing line side by side. And there, look, is Ingram to the outside of Cook. The Mercedes of Aidan Moffat and Adam Morgan are both there tucked up behind, but Cook just manages to come out ahead.
But Ingram's been pushed out wide at the second part of the turn. Has he held it? Ingram's had to go around the outside because he was just being pushed out wide and two can't fit through that chicane. So he has no choice. It's not an advantage gained, it just has no choice.
Mark Blundell is a long way adrift of the pack and may well be heading for the pit lane. There, Stephen Jelly just tags the back of Rory Butcher. Senna Proctor's in the mix as well. That is Turkington trying to get up on the inside at Sunny out. He's alongside Smiley. Camish tries to buy into this as well. The Hondas are nose to tail. Turkington's on the outside line. Smiley hangs on to the place. Camish gets up the inside of the BMW. They're going to be side by side into the complex. Camish on the outside for this corner. Can he stand his ground and be on the inside for the next? Turkington tries to squeeze up the inside of Smiley to no avail. There's no change in the order. But what a battle. And all of this is playing right into the hands of Jordan.
Yeah, it's just what you need when you've got maximum ballast off, is the guys behind you absolutely fighting it out, using tyres, using brakes, everything else, while you just drive nice, clean laps. You treat it like a test session and do every lap perfect. But some good squabbling there between Smiley, Turkington and Camish, and just giving each other enough room. Camish was hoping to get round the outside in the complex and have the inside for the hairpin, but no can do.
So Camish trying to find a way past Turkington. He is also aware that he's being caught a little bit by Chilton as they come down towards Tower. Andrew Jordan, fastest lap of the race. He's now 4 seconds clear. Sutton's crawling all over the back of Chilton. Great battle. I mean, look at this. The line for second and back is getting longer and longer as Turkington goes round the outside. He's done it. He's gone second. That was brave.
Wow, I'm not sure where Turkington got the drive to do that. But wow, to get in front, or I mean, did Smiley miss a gear or something? But that's not easy doing a sequential thing. But normally you can't just drag past a car from the exit of Tower to the turn-in of the S's, can you?
But now, look, released. He's already building the gap. Camish frantically flashing the lights to try to distract Smiley. So now Turkington going after Jordan. We've got 11 laps to go, a little bit under that now, but can he catch the race leader? Smiley now trying to hang on to third. Camish under attack from Chilton and Sutton and Plato. And then Matt Neal. So you've got Plato and Neal together. It's just like old times. Camish ahead of Smiley then as they go through Tower. Change for third place. Dan Camish goes through, so he's made the move, he's made it stick. So that puts him up to third. Smiley off the podium, and he's also having to go defensive because he has got Chilton behind him. Here's the move.
Oh, good late move. Right up the inside. Sutton and Chilton are battling out up at the hairpin. I've just caught a glimpse of that out of my windscreen. I don't know who came out on top. Look, they're side by side. Sutton up the inside into turn one, but will he have enough squirt to get there before Chilton closes the door? I think he will.
Matt Neal ahead of the pair of them now. Contact as Sutton leans on Chilton. Plato dives up the inside as well. and goes through, and now Josh Cook tries to buy into this, so he follows Plato on the tighter inside line. Chilton hung out to dry on the outside. Plato's ahead, Cook's ahead. Chilton's off and back on again, and Ingram is about to try and gain a place as well. The leading gap is down to 2.2 seconds now. Another half a second gain on that last lap by Turkington. He's got 4 laps to go. I'm not totally convinced he's going to do it. It's going to be close.
I think he'll get close to him, but the opportunity to pass will be much harder.
Yeah.
Two very similar cars, a little bit of weight difference, as we know. But I think Jordan is just going to do enough. He's controlling it enough. Neil passed Neil passed Smiley as well on that last lap, so Smiley's dropped down to 5th.
Indeed so Matt Neal had got past him, and then we had the dramas behind. There is Neal with the rather muddy front of the car. Smiley's under attack from Ash Sutton, hustling on in that Subaru, but Chris Smiley trying to bank points. Josh Cook, surprisingly, despite less weight, not making the progress up through the order. Tom Oliphant has got past Ollie Jackson. This was how he did it coming out of the hairpin.
Yeah, the gap opened up nicely for him, straight in the inside.
And Sutton's going to have a go, switches sides, has a face full of Honda. Plato is next. There's the Subaru up the inside. There's a clatter between the pair of them. Now, who's got the drag in a straight line? It should be the Honda. Here comes Plato in the Vauxhall as well to see whether he can get up the inside, maybe diving down towards Clervaux. Smiley has his nose in front. The noses hit the floor as they stand on the brakes. Smiley stays ahead, but now through the twiddly bit, Sutton is quick.
Yeah, Sutton is quick, but Smiley needs to drive a nice tight line round the second corner so that there's no opportunity for Sutton to use that rear-wheel drive traction to power up the inside before the chicane. Smiley does that nicely. He now can stretch his legs, put a little bit of a gap in. Is it enough to stop the out-braking manoeuvre? It is.
Smiley's other chance might be Plato, because if Jason starts having a go at getting past Sutton, he's got to defend. That might just drop him off the back of the BTC Racing Honda. The Powermax Racing Vauxhall Astra, the third car in this battle pack, cabs out of the S's. Smiley, Sutton, Plato and Cook, the 4 drivers involved. Lead gap is down to 1.8 seconds with less than 2 laps to go. It's going to be win number 5 for Andrew Jordan, seemingly, as Sutton has another go there at Smiley. But there are the BMWs. Another fabulous display, not only by WSR, not only by the new for this year BMW 3 Series, but by AJ.
Yeah, absolutely. He's done everything right. I mean, his lap pace has been fantastic. He did his best lap of a 22.5 back on lap 5, and his last lap was a 22.6.
Excellent, isn't it? Very, very impressive indeed. As Chris Smiley is still defending. The order is Jordan, Turkington, Camish 3rd and Neil 4th. So WSR from Dynamics. And now you've got not only Smiley under attack, but a back marker ahead, which I think is Nicholas Hamilton, who's had a moment and rejoined. So Smiley needs to try and get past him. As Sutton bites again at the back, gets all sideways as he gets up on the curb, and he's throwing everything at it. Nicholas Hamilton dives out of the way very sensibly as Smiley et al. Dive past. Now you've got Ingram all over the back of Cook. Plato wants to get past Sutton. Sutton wants to get past Smiley. And Chris has got to make this the world's widest Civic for one more lap.
Yeah, well, he's managed to get round one of the danger areas, that long right-hander before the chicane at turn 2, where Sutton was trying desperately to inch his way up the inside, but just couldn't find the room and had to back out of it. There aren't many more places left, although we know the Subaru is the best car around the final complex because of its great change of direction.
Half a lap remaining. Sutton still crawling all over the back of Smiley. Great defence this has been, as Andrew Jordan is going to come through to win for the 5th time this season. Checkered flag is waved. Andrew Jordan wins at Croft. The BMW Pertec racing car wins as Chris Smiley is off the road right in front of our window, and that on the last lap means he's not going to get to the flag, I fear. So Jordan wins, Turkington is 2nd, Camish is 3rd and Matt Neal is 4th.
And we'll have to see what happens. Smiley is moving.
You can see the damage on the back.
That was already there from the nibble at the second corner on the start of the lap.
Chris Smiley tries to get going. Here's what happened to him.
Coming up to the left-hander, Smiley goes to defend. Round the outside and sweeping back to the inside comes Sutton. You'd need to see a straight-on angle of that to see how much room there really was. Here we are. Well, actually, to be fair, Sutton was there on the inside. I would say Smiley took a slightly middle-of-the-road line, as he was entitled to.
Let's confirm the result of round 11 of the BTCC. Andrew Jordan wins, yet again, over a second to the good, ahead of Colin Turkington and Dan Camish 3rd. Matt Neal bags 4th ahead of Ash Sutton. Jason Plato 6th from Tom Ingram and then Josh Cook. Tom Chilton 9th and 10th goes to Aidan Moffat.
Join us again in a few moments for the final race from Croft.
Round 12 of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship from a soggy Croft is about to get underway. Lights out, we go racing. Those on slicks struggle away from the line. Down towards Clervaux Corner. Chilton it is who leads the way. Ingram goes backwards without the traction really to project him down towards turn 1. Now he's got to survive. Moffat's got ahead of him. Jordan's on the outside of Jason Plato. So it's Chilton leading. Josh Cook 2nd. Plato 3rd. Jordan is 4th as they head up towards Hawthorne for the first time. Everybody treating the road with respect. Tom Oliphant's BMW, another on slick tyres, goes through as up towards the chicane. Stephen Jelly cuts across, so does Tom Ingram, trying to keep out of trouble down towards Tower.
Yep, Ingram really trying to just stay out of trouble. He knew that's where he was vulnerable to getting hit on the start, and he's done everything he can to get out of everybody's way and just hope that the tyres come to him.
On board with Senna Proctor out of Tower in the spray. And Senna Proctor sees the battle going on ahead. Now where, if at all, can he find a way through? We're hearing Aidan Moffat has been given a drive-through penalty for a full start. So in conditions he normally revels in, he is about to have to serve a drive-through penalty. He's also losing a place, I think, as well as Senna Proctor came up to have a go. Right, here it looks pretty dry, relatively. Chilton is leading, Josh Cook 2nd, and these two getting away already.
Yeah, the track looks a lot drier than we saw on the formation lap. So that's just in the space of sort of 8 minutes without any cars going round. So put 30 cars on the grid, or 29, it's going to dry up very quickly indeed, isn't it? So at the moment, the wet tyres are still the thing to have, but at some point, that tide is going to change.
So Tom Ingram coming under attack from Nicholas Hamilton, still heading those on the slick tyres. Chilton leads the way. Cook 2nd, Plato 3rd. 4th is Jordan at the end of lap 1. 5th is Turkington. Dan Camish is 6th. Sorry, correction. It's Matt Neal in 5th place with a transponder problem. 6th is Turkington. 7th is Camish. 8th is Sutton. 9th is Moffat on the road, but he's going to drive through to serve. 10th is Stephen Jelly. There he is, just ahead of Morgan, who is just ahead of Butcher. And here, Sam Tordoff coming under attack as they head through the chicane. Senna Proctor right up behind him.
Yeah, and again, Sun looking good. Look, this is going to dry quickly and provide some grip. Now, don't forget, we're on a brand new Dunlop wet. This is Matt Neal and Andy Jordan fighting over 4th place. Coming out of Tower, approaching the Jim Clark S's, lost in the gloom. Who's going to turn in first? And it is Matt Neal.
So Matt Neal goes 4th. And Tom Ingram on the slicks, 22nd. Other slick-shod cars behind him. Confirmation of the drive-through penalty for Aidan Moffat. That will not go down well. It was a really good drive for him in the Later Tools Racing Mercedes to 10th in the second race of the day, bearing in mind that ahead were the much newer cars. Up towards the complex they come then. There is Matt Neal keeping Jordan at bay. Chilton leads. Josh Cook, double winner this year, in 2nd spot. And then Jason Plato 3rd, having his best race showing of the season thus far. He's had a brace of 6th places, but can he go even better here as Jordan comes under renewed attack now? Turkington is there behind him, then Camish, then Sutton.
They're all queuing up like at a bus stop, aren't they, at the hairpin? It looks really slow, but you can only go as fast as you can go, and you can only go as fast as the room in front of you allows you to go. So they're all queuing up, but Andy Jordan not liking it too much at the moment. The maximum ballast and the wet not helping him particularly. Remember, Ash Sutton is fantastic in these conditions. He loves the wet.
Fastest lap, Jason Plato. Senna Proctor gets up the inside of Ollie Jackson there. You've got Bobby Thompson going with them as well. So Chilton is still leading the way, and Ingram's best lap is a 37.8. Jack Goff is off the road on his slick tyres, and he's got damage. Look at the left rear corner.
Yeah, that won't go anywhere. He's finished.
Chris Smiley up the
Smiley,
inside.
both on slicks.
Yeah.
And both struggling to stop the car. But, yeah, that's a goner.
Safety cars on standby because Jack Goff is on the grass on the outside of the road. Now there is Ingram. His best lap time is a 1:37.8. The best of the race is a 1:29.5. So it's still nowhere near slick conditions.
No, but the gap that he's lost will be closed up under the safety car.
It will indeed.
So that gives him a restart on a slightly drier track. So that's any safety car is a big advantage to the slickshod guys. So and it could be a few little laps before we get Goff's car moved.
So the overall race leader, Tom Chilton, comes up towards the complex. Josh Cook right there behind him. Jason Plato third. These are sort of Jason-esque conditions, aren't they? You wouldn't bet against him on a wet road like this with all that experience that he's got and all that guile. Behind him fourth is Matt Neal. Jordan is fifth. Jelly was sixth. That'll be Turkington now as over the timing line. Chilton will come in a moment. We're back racing here at Croft. Can Chilton get away? Is this the opportunity that Josh Cook needs now to make a move? Let's see. Chilton does break away slightly as they go over the line. Half a second between them. Down towards Clervaux into turn one then. And it's still Chilton, Cook, then Plato. A little bit wide goes Turkington, in fact. Rob Smith there on the back of Carl Borgley. Dan Rowbottom goes through ahead of Mark Blundell into turn one. The Cataclean Racing Mercedes ahead of the AMD run Audi. Trade Price Racing Cars car. And we're up to 17 laps then now because of the safety car. That's Moffat, still to serve the drive-through. And he's under attack from Rory Butcher. So the two Scotsmen battling, and Rory Butcher tries the outside line going into Tar, and he drives around the outside. Has he got the job done? Not quite. They're still side by side. Great racing.
Yeah, I think he will get the job done probably as they get to the gym. Oh, there's a yellow flag there. But yes, he does nip in ahead of Aidan Moffat. But I'd have thought Aidan Moffat was due a black flag if he hasn't taken it within 3 laps of being warned. But maybe the safety car saved him a little bit.
I just need to double check whether the pit lane is closed for penalties if it's a safety car period, but I haven't had a chance to do that yet as the cars come up to the complex. So Federico Torrata, his engineer, will be on the radio, I'm sure, giving him the message as Ollie Jackson tries to defend from Senna Proctor. What progress is Ingram making? He was still 22nd at the start of this lap. Has he gained any ground? We'll have to wait and see as Proctor comes up to have a go at Jackson. And there, look, Sutton tries on the inside line, goes ahead of Dan Camish coming through the hairpin. So Sutton gains 1 place. Dan Rowbottom gets up the inside as well there in the Mercedes over the line. It's Chilton, Cook, Plato, still the top 3. Matt Neal is 4th. Moffat is in the pits now to serve the drive-through.
Yeah, good move by Sutton, that, using the strengths of the Subaru. But look how the track is drying. Well, it's going to be touch and go with the race distance, isn't it? Whether how good. Here comes Chilton, still it's picking up.
Whoa, Tom, careful.
So difficult to drive in these conditions.
His last lap, Tom Ingram, was a 35.3. He's still about 6 seconds off the last lap that was done by Chilton. The fastest lap of the race, incidentally, a Jason Plato time now. So it is drying, but Ingram is 16 seconds off the lead. That safety car has helped him to sort of stay in the game. Doesn't help Stephen Jelly because, of course, he's still trying to play catch-up. Morgan on the limit.
Yeah, Stephen Jelly never got on the back of the Crocodile on the restart, so that gamble didn't help him. I think we can confirm Daniel Rowbottom did start on wets. We weren't sure, obviously, at the beginning, but he definitely did start on wets.
He's not that far off his first points either, is he? Because he's in 17th place now, and he's showing good pace at the moment as the cars come then now tiptoeing their way. That's Rob Collard through the Jim Clark S's. Collard's another one on the slick tyres, don't forget. Tom Chilton then leads the way as they come through the hairpin. Jordan is under attack from Turkington for 5th place. Jordan, remember, with maximum ballast as they come now up towards the timing line once more. Chilton leading. That last lap was a 29.7. Yellow flags at turn 1.
What can that mean?
Who is it that's gone AWOL? Let's try and see as they turn through the corner. It could be the bollards that were knocked by Tom Ingram a lap ago.
Yeah.
But that might be a slippery surface flag more than anything. But let's see. Ingram has just gone through. Personal best lap, a 1:33.2, but he's still not lapping as quickly, and he's still 20 seconds off the leading car.
But, you know, there's quite a long way to go in this race still. These laps will, you know, they'll count off quickly, but I still think he's got a chance of picking something up near the end.
Okay. There is Dan Camish under attack from Rory Butcher. Rory running in 9th place, having started race 1, 29th on the grid. That's Ingram, who's just done a personal best in the first sector, which is about half a second down on the race leader. Another personal best done by Rory Butcher in the first sector as well as he gets a toe down towards Tower. But there are the race leaders. Tom Chilton from Josh Cook, 8/10 the margin last time. Jason Plato in 3rd place, revelling in these greasy conditions. And he's there on the back of Josh Cook, look, as they come up towards the complex. In 4th, you've got Matt Neal, then Jordan, then Turkington, then Sutton. Camish is next. Behind him is Butcher. And Adam Morgan in 10th spot with another train of cars up behind him. Through the complex now.
Sutton up the inside of Turkington. Little touch, but through he goes.
So Chilton over the line. Josh Cook 0.7 of a second behind him, and it's only 1.3 seconds covering the top three. Who is in 15th place at the moment? It's Carl Boardley. So there he's at the back of the shot. Up the inside of Ollie Jackson goes Sam Tordoff. They lean on each other. Tordoff goes through robustly, but he runs wide, and Ollie Jackson gets back up the inside and takes the position away.
Yeah, good racing between those two.
And now, is that Tordoff possibly with a problem? Because Senna Proctor comes up to have a go. Rory Butcher's battle-scarred car all over the back of Dan Camish. So it was deranged yesterday. It's getting deranged again.
Yeah,
Rory Butcher's car.
Camish and Butcher have been having a race-long scrap, haven't they?
Yeah.
And I have to say, Tom Chilton, you've got to take your hat off to him. He uses all of his experience. You know, he always seems to get fantastic results out of that car, whatever the situation. He really does.
Stephen Jelly still struggling on, and he's going to be lapped shortly, isn't he? Because he's got the leaders bearing down on him. So Stephen Jelly suggests he might not yet be happy with the traction he's got. The leading three really closing up. Look at his three for the lead. Jason Plato for a race win is a real possibility here. The way that he's going, he's having a look on the inside of Josh Cook. The door is not really open, so the issue not forced as they come over the line. Through now goes Chilton. Look, getting away as Cook goes defensive. That last lap, a 1 minute 30.4 from the leader, a 30.5 for Cook. Those on slicks are speeding up, but they're still not yet at that tipping point where slicks are working better than wets.
No, so when it does come, that tipping point, the gap will just get, it'll be a second, then 2 seconds, then 3 seconds. It'll escalate very quickly, and you know, still 7 laps to go.
Now Ingram's last lap was a 31.9, so he's a second and a half down in terms of lap time.
I reckon on this next lap he'll probably be the same lap time.
Okay.
And then he'll have 9 laps to go quicker than anyone in front of him.
Let's see then as they come through the chicane. Sideways, he's off the road, he's through the mud, saved it, but now he's got dirty tyres.
Well, he may not be quicker on this lap. Not after that. But fair play to him. You know, he's going to keep trying, isn't he?
Absolutely, absolutely. So the team pretty confident before the rain came. That is Camish off the road. So what's that going to do to him? Well, it drops him behind Adam Morgan. Morgan finds a puddle on the inside. Camish has got dirty tyres by being off the circuit. So Dan Camish, who was in 8th place, is no more. Stephen Jelly is being lapped as well as they come up towards the complex, and the Team Parker Racing BMW TPR has just had a Porsche win in the earlier race. The leaders are closing up, and there, up on the inside, Sutton goes ahead of Jordan. Yeah, Sutton pulled exactly the same move on Jordan that he did on Turkington. A last-minute late turn-in on the brakes. Clearly, that Subaru, with its turn-in ability and ability to stop, using that absolutely to the fore, and Jordan, now that he's thinking championship, wasn't going to fight that one out. No, suddenly the mindset's different, isn't it? So Sutton goes through. Jordan, of course, also with the maximum weight in the car, 30 kilos for Ash Sutton. And we are about to get Tom Ingram across the timing line. The relevance of that being the lap, well, it was a slower lap because of his little moment, so a 32.7. He's still the leader of the slick class, isn't he, as he goes through. Tom Oliphant is a couple of places behind him. We've only got 7 laps to go, so the slick shod cars are going to run out of time. Yeah, well, this is what, I mean, you know, the Dunlop, as I said, is a fabulous wet tyre with a great flexibility and range of performance. So it's certainly able to carry on. Oh, this is what happened to Camish. Oh, they were passing Stephen Jelly, weren't they? Whether he overcommitted, I don't know, but it was just at the point they were passing Stephen Jelly coming through Barcroft into Sunny 1, and Camish was off. So there, Tom Chilton leads the way. Laps tick on down as he comes through the hairpin once again. Jordan under attack still from Turkington. Turkington has got Rory Butcher up behind him. So 29th on the grid for race 1, and Rory now running 8th. So it shows how you can salvage a day, doesn't it? And that's what you have to do. You have to get your head down, make progress forward, hope the third race help on reverse grid. Ingram now looking to, look, he's now in a position to start picking cars off. But of course, to do so, he has to run offline, but which doesn't help. But he's got good traction off the corner. I think he's got his tyres in now, and he'll start making some progress. Let's see what this lap time is as Ingram comes across the line. He does a 1 minute 31.9. Again, a couple of seconds off, really, isn't it? Yeah, he's making progress against the slower cars on wets, not in terms of the pace of the quick cars on wets, So he's getting there, but he's not there yet, and he's going to run out of time. So it was a gamble, didn't work, but it's been an interesting race to follow, that is for sure, as up front Tom Chilton still leads the way then.
The thing is, Tom started third on the grid. Now, if he was running third at the moment on wets, he'd probably be quite happy with that, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
You know, but it was a big gamble to make from where he was, given how many other cars were starting on wets around him.
Exactly right. So it has not paid out, but he's not given up fighting, that's for sure. Nicholas Hamilton is the next target, and the leaders are up at the hairpin for the 12th time. So Ingram now tries to make a move for 19th place. Stephen Jelly a lap down, he's up the road ahead. Ingram looking quicker relative to these cars. He's all sideways. Saved it. Another heart-in-mouth moment.
Yeah, good job. His reactions are good. Yeah, that was because he just turned in on the tighter line. It was a bit damper. And he got that one covered up. I notice he's now behind Nicholas Hamilton, who roughed him up a bit at the end of the first lap. So he won't want to take any prisoners. Straight up the inside. Yes.
Yes, it was a big, big moment there. If Tom leaves the BTCC, drifting perhaps is a new career, but it was a good save. Up towards the line he comes. Chilton, Cook, Plato remaining the top three. So now Ingram, his lap time's skewed a little bit by the fact that he's in traffic and doing overtaking. He's up to 19th, and his lap was a 1:32.5, 2 seconds down on the leader. Matt Neal coming under attack from Ash Sutton now for 4th place. Plato on the back further up the road of Cook second. Chilton just 1 second to the good. Chilton looking for career win 14 here. So we're on lap 13 of 17. And Ash Sutton, who, as we've always said, goes well in the wet, goes well in these greasy conditions, closing right up onto the back of the Honda. Bit deep, but he might find traction on the outside there.
He only just stopped the car, didn't he? He went in a bit too hot, and that's lost him the opportunity to get close to Matt Neal at the end of the lap, which is the Subaru's best part of the track.
Also just glanced the Recticel barrier. Andrew Jordan's windscreen, if you catch a glimpse of it, looks absolutely coated in mud. How he's peering through that, heaven alone knows, because it's very, very muddy indeed. There's barely any visibility, but he doesn't want to put the wiper on and smear it, which might make it worse. So there it is, Andrew Jordan. Look at that, having a real tough time.
That is a mess, isn't it?
Yeah. So some have got the wipers on, and you see how it is smearing. Down towards Clairvaux. Game on for second place now. Cook versus Plato, and this means that Chilton's getting away. The leading gap is extending.
Yeah, Chilton's driving really well, and the lap times you see are staying fairly similar at the front. It's not as though these wet tyres are going off. Chilton did a 30.8. That's only a second slower than his very best on lap 2. So that Dunlop is holding up well. Ingram wanted it to deteriorate very quickly, but he's done the testing. He should know that it's a good tyre.
So Tom Ingram has just done a personal best lap, not the best lap of the race. That's still Jason Plato's from earlier, a 1:29.5. Ingram's done a 1:30.7, so he's only just now on the same pace as the race leaders.
Yeah. So he's going to run out of time to make enough progress forward in terms of track position. But been entertaining to watch.
Yes, can he get into the points? That would be the next target, to salvage something out of it. Mind you, the way that we're having this battle for second place and others, he might buy some more positions yet before the end. You never know. It was the last lap, wasn't it, when we had the Smiley-Sutton incident in race 2. Where is Chris Smiley, by the way, in all of this? He's still struggling down in 24th spot. Adam Morgan, who also does quite a bit of rallying when time permits, he's in 9th place under attack. So again, somebody that's used to slippery conditions. But Tom Chilton is being caught again by Josh Cook.
And Sutton pulled that same manoeuvre again. He completely dummies the car in front, and he cuts back so late and so quickly and aggressively. He literally gets alongside before the other car realises he's even done it. So it's a very good move.
So that means that Sutton is now 4th. Next target, Jason Plato, but we've only got 3 laps to go. We're on lap 15 of 17. Mark Blundell under attack from Tom Ingram. So this is for 17th place. Blundell on the wets. Ingram on the slicks, comes up to cross the line. It'll be another improved lap time by Ingram, potentially. A 1:30.6, a personal best. He is lapping quicker than the leader now, and he goes through, but yeah, it's too late.
Taking a bit of a chance through turn 1, turning in on the inside to make sure he got past Blundell, but clipping the curb and loading up the outside tyre, but it's got enough temperature in it now to stick.
Muddy BMW of Jordan goes through. Adam Morgan keeping Dan Camish at bay for 9th place. Adam having said the cars felt really good around here. Often Croft has been a bit of a bogey track for them, but good pace has been in that car this weekend. So Andrew Jordan under attack from Turkington, Rory Butcher behind. This is Rory Butcher's, and I use the word view advisedly.
Yeah.
There are shapes ahead, so he's trying to race, assess the grip, peer through the horrible mud all over the screen, and not drive into the back of Turkington, who's looking for a way past Jordan, who's looking for a way past Neil. Butcher to the outside line. The leaders go across the line, and the leading gap is down to 9/10 of a second now. There they are. So Josh Cook not giving up.
If you're wondering why they don't have water bottles fitted, it's just because they're not used to driving in mud.
No.
You know, they need the wiper if it rains, but they don't generally need the wiper to clear mud. So they don't have water bottles and pumps and dispensers to use. I think I saw Sutton actually having put the wiper on, and it looked to have done a reasonably good job of clearing it, actually.
Yes, there was a GT race many, many years ago at Silverstone where one of Malcolm Swetnam's Ferraris had a grubby windscreen and the wiper wasn't working properly, so the call came to slow down past the pits. Malcolm threw a bucket of water over it and cleared the screen. Not quite sure you're going to get away with that at the moment, but Tom Chilton has a clear screen. He's got no such dramas whatsoever, and he has driven brilliantly here, hasn't he? He's not put a wheel wrong given the conditions and the pressure he's under.
Yeah, absolutely. He really has. He's a class act, absolute class act, and this will be a nice little reward for him and Motorbase. I'm not going to jinx him, hopefully, but one more lap, and you know, he can pull this off. But look, you can see Plato's used his wipers because there's he does it again there. You can see on the screen he's definitely used them.
And Josh Cook keeping second place, Colin Turkington 7th. So it's going to be interesting this to see how the championship situation is going to be post-race, with an awful lot of shuffling during the course of the day. So through goes Chilton as Jordan, Turkington, Butcher slither out of the hairpin together. Now we are getting absolute best sectors finally from Ingram, Smiley, Oliphant on the slicks. Now is the time that the slick tyres are working, but it's the last lap of the race.
Yeah, it's too little too late, so the gamble has failed. I can see why he did it. The sun was out, the track has dried quickly earlier on in the weekend from similar conditions, but it was just too big an ask.
Tom Ingram has just done the fastest lap of the race. Small consolation, I fear. So Tom Chilton, with just under a lap to go, leads the way. Josh Cook second. And how good is it going to be to see Jason Plato back on the podium?
Yeah, fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Motorbase, BTC Racing, Power Max Racing, three of perhaps what you might call the underdog teams locking out the top three places. That's good for the championship.
And that's always it. Oh, Butcher's got through on Jordan.
So's Turkington. So Jordan, 2 places lost on the last lap.
Andy will be really unhappy about that, because I think he was trying to just win that battle with Turkington, wasn't he, for position?
He tries to get back on the inside of Butcher, who's trying to get back past Turkington, but to no avail. So up they come to the complex. There is Turkington, but ahead of them, the 3 race leaders on this, the last lap, headed by Tom Chilton. Josh Cook second, Jason Plato third. Tom Chilton, for the Motorbase team, is about to have a 14th British Touring Car Championship win, his first of the season. This one should stick, shouldn't it? Tom Chilton wins at Croft. Second, Josh Cook. Third, Jason Plato. And then fourth is going to go the way of Ash Sutton ahead of Matt Neal. But for 6th on the last lap, the real shuffle. Turkington, then Butcher, down to 8th, Jordan. 9th, Adam Morgan. 10th, Dan Camish. And that is Tom Ingram, who is going to be 16th as he comes across the line. The slick tyres kicked in at the end. Another fastest lap of the race on the very last lap, but out of the points.
Yeah, well, the gamble didn't work. You know, he'll kick himself now for not starting on wets and being part of that battle at the front. And I'm sure he could have finished higher than he has done there, but that's the way it goes. But hats off to Chilton, Cook and Plato for a great display.
No contact, no silliness, great driving by all 3. And Tom Chilton soaking up the pressure, mastering the conditions. Really impressive job done. Tom Chilton wins. And, of course, he was an on-the-road winner at Brands Hatch. That's why I said when he took the flag, this one should stick. But Tom Chilton has done it. He's taken the win. Josh Cook second. And Jason Plato takes third. And Tom Chilton, a very happy man indeed, no doubt. Lots of pressure applied to Tom Chilton, but he didn't put a wheel wrong. Round 12 of the championship won by Tom Chilton from Josh Cook. and Jason Plato's first podium of the season. He's third from Ash Sutton, Matt Neal, and then Colin Turkington. Rory Butcher 7th, Andrew Jordan 8th in the end, ahead of Adam Morgan, and Dan Camish in 10th place. So, drama at Croft. Colin Turkington came here as the joint championship leader. He leaves 11 points ahead of Josh Cook, with Ash Sutton up to 3rd and Andrew Jordan up to 4th, meaning he'll carry more weight going into the next qualifying session. Matt Neal is 5th from Rory Butcher. He was the other joint championship leader, but he leaves 6th. Tom Chilton's up to 7th ahead of Dan Camish, then Tom Ingram, and it's Jason Plato rounding out the top 10.
That's all from North Yorkshire. Join us next time for more British Touring Car Championship action.